One of the most frustrating things of working with Claude Code is when it crushes a feature, but when you open the project, all of the CSS is broken. Coding agents have made so much progress. First, we were copying and pasting code from ChatGPT for single files. Then, with Cursor, we had multi-file edits with agent mode when they launched that. And now we're one-shotting features and working on complex code bases with Claude Code and Opus 4.5. But still, coding agents don't have eyes. They're not able to just quickly look at a project and see what's going wrong. In the most egregious example, I work a lot with Tailwind projects, and a lot of the times the config is just off a little bit. You open the project and all of it is broken. So today we're going to walk through 3 ways to give coding agents eyeballs. We're going to go through a naive version of just using screenshotting tools. 2, we're going to use the Chrome DevTools MCP. And 3, we're going to use a new tool called Peekaboo. Let's start with the naive version. So I have a simple Tower of Hanoi implementation here. I'm going to play this real quick. I should be able to do this in 2 to the n minus 1 moves. So let's do that. Great. It's nice. So I'm going to just inject a fake problem here. So I'm going to just open this up in Cursor, and I'm just going to break the CSS by just removing the import for now. And typically what I would do right now is what I've been doing in the past is just taking a screenshot and using that, and then bringing that over to Claude by just dragging. So one gripe there, I wish I could just paste from the clipboard, but that's currently not possible. But I'll push this and just let Claude know CSS looks broken and have it work through that. And this works totally fine, but it creates a huge point of friction. I have to come in and validate this, as opposed to in the past, as we made progress with agents, it can just lint, run builds, and just work without me being part of it. So this, if we can avoid that step, that would be better. Okay, so now just checking in here, we see that it found that missing import and it works through that and it works great. The next thing I want to try is I just want to show you that I have the Chrome DevTools MCP, and what's nice about this, it can do a lot, including grabbing screenshots. I'll be very explicit here. In the Claude MD, you can add more guidance. Can you take a screenshot using Chrome and tell me what's wrong? I'll let it do that, but one thing I'd expect folks to try is in the Claude MD, after making a feature update or making any update, not just run npm run build or whatever your build make commands are, but also ask it to run it, take a screenshot, and judge if it's in a good state. So in this case, Chrome DevTools is spinning up another browser, and it is going to spin up localhost 3000, in which case it's doing right now. It's going to take a screenshot and then judge it itself. And another thing that's really nice is because we have to take screenshots and delete it ourselves, you can ask Claude to just RM those files. Okay, cool. So now just checking in, it found that it was missing that import. It found the actual issue by just taking the screenshot on its own via Chrome DevTools. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm also going to show you why else the Chrome DevTools MCP server is so powerful. So not only can it do just screenshots, I'm going to go ahead, I really use the inspector a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and I'm going to go ahead and change the color of one of these rings. And what's nice about Chrome DevTools is there are these nice experiences where I can just change colors or use, even when I'm doing easing functions, just have these little, having these nice UXs where I can change things. And now that I've changed that, obviously if I just refresh this, it'll use what's in my code. But if I ask Chrome DevTools, using Chrome DevTools, can you reflect the change I made in Inspector? So I've gone ahead and invoked or allowed the MCP to check that, and you'll notice it found that background color change and it will update the code accordingly. So this is really useful when making quick edits and not having to go back and forth that often. And the last tool we're going to go through is a tool called Peekaboo, which is both a CLI tool and an MCP server. So Peekaboo takes this one step further and actually uses your OS's screenshotting tools to effectively do what we just did with Chrome DevTools. And I've gone ahead and broken the CSS, so I'm going to ask it to use Peekaboo explicitly. Partly I'm doing that because I have a bunch of MCP tools and I want to explicitly use Peekaboo for now. Use Peekaboo to look at my project and tell me what's wrong. And what will happen here is it'll actually navigate to those tabs, take a screenshot, use that in my Cloud Code project, and then work through that. The reason this is a bit more powerful is this is not just browser-based. So you can actually do anything on your computer using Peekaboo because it's using that screenshotting capability. For example, if you're making a Mac OS app or you're using Xcode to build something through Simulator, you can really work with Peekaboo. So there are strong permissions around this. You have to make this available via the accessibility pieces, but this is quite powerful if you're doing more than just web apps. Across all three methods, it did work. So it did find the issue in all situations. The only difference was in the first one, I was the blocking force. I wasn't able to quickly verify and come and tell Cloud Code that something was wrong. But in the latter two examples, you can see that it can work in this loop and just check its work. It's more powerful and you can make a lot more progress if your eyeballs are not the blocking piece.